Hello and welcome to the next installment of my Time for Little Naps Wargaming in the Napoleonic Era project. One that I've said before I am very excited to get into. In fact, the first video I put up was quite popular for my channel, and I think that just tells you that Napoleonic Wargaming is pretty big in this hobby. So yeah, welcome to the next part of my journey. Today I'm going to look at Waterloo, Tabletop Wargaming in the Age of Napoleon. This is the Warhammer Historical tome. This is 288 pages of Napoleonic goodness. Now, it is called Waterloo, but it does have a lot of mention of Peninsular War stuff, so you could play this throughout. Now, I know Napoleonics is one of those eras where people can be very particular about things, uniforms, tactics, and unit types and weapons and all that stuff. And I get it, and I totally appreciate the desire for the truth and the reality and the accuracy of the period. For me, what I see in this book, I like a lot of the rules, and I like the way combat works, and yeah, so I'm not going to be a stickler for a lot of things. When I show you my painted minis, probably in the next episode of this, you'll see that I want there to be some accuracy, but I'm not looking for 100% accuracy. It's not so important for me. I just want to have fun, get some painted minis on the table, and you know, play this game. So anyway, enough of that. Let's look at Waterloo. So again, this is 288 pages. There is a lot of artwork in this. There are a lot of pictures of painted minis, which are fantastic. These guys did a fantastic job. Written by Mark Latham, who I know has done some other interesting games of the period and elsewise. So probably some similarities between those games, but we'll have to see. Anyway, the rules begin. Actually, you know, here's just examples of like that great like actual artwork, and then pictures of big battles that I don't think you would actually have a battle that looks like this, but just like in Black Powder and other games, having setups that look like this are fantastic. But maybe that you could fight in a battle like that. Anyway, this tells you about like miniature size, and it's neat because it's meant for 25 millimeter, but it does talk a lot about if you're going to use something like 15 millimeter, 18 millimeter, even if you go, I think it talks about going down to 10 millimeter maybe, and it tells you what you need to change for all those. But the game is meant for 25 millimeter figures in groups of 6. I'm doing a little bit different. I'm doing the square bases instead of the rectangular bases, but it'll work. They talk about your min-max of tray sizes and stuff. So I am going to be a little off in what I built for this, just so it can be used for other things. But it does mention that, say in the end your models are not based in this way, the game will still work, just as long as everyone has the same kind of army. I think it works. Again, more artwork. So the rules begin on page 15, and the rules don't stop all the way until page 107, till we get to the armies. So there are a lot of rules here. I'm not going to go through all the rules today. That will be for another video, and I do want to get into the how to play this. I will probably wait until I've got some based and painted minis to show examples, but I quite like the look of these rules. This is kind of like the two forces that I'm looking forward to. You know, a lot of infantry, then a little bit of other things like some artillery, some cavalry, some light infantry, stuff like that. Like just a nice mix. And I'm hoping to have, because I'm doing 10 millimeter, I'm hoping to have it on a smaller table than a 6x4 or bigger. Some of these battles can be fought in bigger, on bigger tables. So various phases that, again, I'll get into another time. But yeah, if you are familiar with other Games Workshop games, older ones, I think there are similarities between this and previous Warhammer Fantasy games. I only played, was it 7th edition? 8th edition. I've only played 8th edition, I believe. So I can't really speak to the other editions, but I like the way this takes the Napoleonic era. For me, it looks good. You know, it looks good. It's probably not going to be perfect for many, but it does have the various ways of deploying. It has all the different positioning and stuff. So I think I think it's got enough accuracy that it feels Napoleonic when it needs to. But you know, it's someone that has played multiple Napoleonic games. Maybe they can say more to it. Anyway, like I said, from page 15 all the way to page 107, we cover even sieges and artillery and all kinds of things. Oh, and then there's also this where you'll find all the scenarios. There's a few of those. So I think it's what, eight scenarios. Yep, 8 scenarios. Some of them have buildings, some of them have hills, some of them have trees and then forests and stuff. There's nice variety, like any good game. This is a full game. This is the whole game is in here. You don't really need too much outside of this, other than your minis and your table and stuff, and your dice and all that stuff. Anyway, starting on page 107, we've got the armies, and these are army lists, and you'll find British, you'll find French, you'll find allies, and what I like is that they do have peninsular allies. Oh, here's some of my paperwork that I've been, oh, this is actually going through the scenarios for commands and colors Napoleonics to kind of match it up. But this is when I was doing my purchasing, trying to figure out between 6mm and 10mm what I needed. I ended up, of course, going with 10mm. So yeah, I've got my shopping list, and I've picked up most of that what I need for the French. I'm just waiting for the British from the 1809 Peninsular War not Kickstarter thing that they did last year. It should be coming out hopefully in the next few months, but maybe I can try to get my French done before the British come. Anyway, like I said, allies, you got your Peninsular War allies, and then I'm pretty sure you have Waterloo allies at some point, for both sides, actually, for the British. Yeah, there we go. Waterloo, Coalition Allies, Army List, yada, yada. And the Army List goes until page 157, so there's lots of armies there. Then we have the Age of Napoleon. So if you know nothing about the Napoleonic era, this has a very nice history. It's a bunch of pages. This is about 30 pages of the history of Napoleonic Wars. Like, goes down to the tactics and what the various units would do. Not fully in depth, but I think it gives you a nice look at that. Also gives you some history of the French Revolution, how we got to the point where Napoleon was fighting his last 100 days. Anyway, then we get to, oh, look, it even talks about the Sea War. So one day, hopefully I can get Black Seas, but that's for a different set of videos altogether. So more history. It has a nice big timeline. Again, lots of great artwork, very visually appealing. It's quite lovely. Page 187, we get to Napoleonic Wargaming. So this is like collecting your armies, what your armies could look like. And we have various based armies. So we've got ones here that are individually based. We've got ones that are based by in fours. Like I said before, the standard basing to this game is 3 wide, 2 deep per company, and 3 to 6 companies make up the battalion. So, but they do say if you're based differently, it's not too big of a problem. You can work it out, but you should have it based like this, and you should use these models, and you should use these paints. Oh, look, they're all Citadel. Who knew? Although look how old this stuff is, my goodness. But yeah, it gives you a little bit of painting guides here for various units and types. And then a lovely showcase of all these beautifully painted minis. My goodness. Maybe the Perry Brothers collection, I'm not sure. I don't want to say that for sure, but very lovely. And then, oh, look at that. Dream Battlefields, absolutely. Could you imagine having that? I know some of you do have that. I am quite, I wouldn't say jealous, but I am quite in awe of some of the setups that people have. It takes a lot of dedication and focus, which clearly I don't have, since this is just one of many projects that I'm working on, but that's okay. Whatever I come up with, I will come up with. So by page 211, we have the Napoleonic campaign. So it's got like how you're going to campaign if you're just playing with a buddy or some buddies, and how that's going to look with experience and stuff. But then we get to the Waterloo campaign. So there are 12 scenarios that are based on the final battles in Waterloo, and you know, got some cool maps, tell you how to set up the various boards according to historical layout, and tells you the forces you need. Now, what's great is that it tells you can use whatever point-based armies you need, but when you get to the end of this section, I love this picture actually, with the KGL light infantry fighting out the building. That's cool. Anyway, when you get past here, you get to the orders of battle for the 100 days. So all of those scenarios, they have the orders of battle, I'm assuming pretty accurate, which is quite neat because it lets you know, so like the 161st Regiment de Ligne, 6 regular line infantry companies, including 1 grenadier and 1 voltigeur company. That's cool. So it tells you if you're going to replay this, what you would want on the board and who they represent. I think that's pretty cool. And it has it for all of those scenarios, all the way to the Imperial Guard attack. And there you go. Then we've got some Legends of Waterloo, some of those big names that if you want to include like Napoleon or Ney in the battles, if you want Wellesley, if you want Picton, you can have them in your game and they all have very special rules. Then we get to the reference, and of course, like any good reference, it actually has a lot of information, a nice big summary for all of the units that you might field, and then some templates for things. So oh, and a lovely index, absolutely. So there you go, 288 pages of loveliness by Warhammer Historical in this Waterloo Tabletop Wargaming in the Age of Napoleon. I will go through these rules as soon as I can. You may have seen I got more French figures. By the time I'm filming this, they're still in their bag because I'm working some other things, but in the very near future, from when this is being posted in early January, I'm hoping to have many more videos on my French army, and I would love to get my French army finished before the British come, because the British are coming, the British are coming. Oh, that's a different war, isn't it? Ah, oh, darn it. Well, different part of the world even. Anyway, thank you for watching. This has been a look at Waterloo, and the next time you see this project, I will have more to say about the game, about the minis, and I am definitely looking forward to exploring this more and going down this on this journey. And thank you for joining me, and see you soon. Thanks. Bye.